What is going on, you guys? Welcome on into the Takedown on SI YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino, Zack Heydorn with you here as always. The third man. It's always a mystery who the third man is going to be on things. But today, Blake Lovell joining us. Blake, thank you so much, man. What's going on? Is this your first time on the channel? I think so.
It is. And you can blame me for that because I feel like the last two times you guys have asked me, I'm like, sorry, I have something going on here, something going on there. But I decided SummerSlam, tonight, first time ever. Come on. This is what I was waiting for.
It is a big one. We got 12 matches we need to discuss. Are we a little surprised that there's only 12 matches, Zach? I figured 2 nights they might go for the WrestleMania format. I thought we would get 14.
So did I. I thought for sure we would get 14. I'm glad we only have 12. I think it's going to make for a more pleasant watch on both Saturday and Sunday. So this is good. I'm not going to be full of dread heading into a 14 match card this weekend.
Yeah, well, I would have preferred 14 in all honesty, because I still cannot fathom the fact that we have yet to have a Women's United States Championship match on a PLE, including the all-women's pay-per-view. But I digress. That match is going to happen on Friday. I'm personally stunned, Blake, that Aleister Black and Damian Priest is not on this show. That's awesome.
I was fully expecting that. Like, everything I talked about for like the past 2 weeks, I'm like, well, here's an obvious choice. They're going to add this to the card. I'm like, I don't know what else they're going to add, but this is when they have to add because they've been building it up. And I'm like, former world champion, bringing back a Triple H type guy and Aleister Black. I'm like, no brainer, right? But no.
Damian Priest from the area should have been his like homecoming big.
Oh. Yeah, good point. Yep.
Yeah.
I would have lost a lot of money on that. But let's focus on the 12 that we have here. First off, welcome on in, guys. Thank you so much for watching, making us part of your day today. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Got a lot of good stuff that we've already got on the channel for you to check out. And obviously, we got some more coming up down the pike as well. Check out my conversation with Chelsea Green. By far the best interview I've ever done. It was very, very fun. Ahead of the release of WWE Unreal. Zach, at some point, we're going to have to talk about WWE Unreal.
We will. Yes, that's a discussions topic for in the near future.
Yeah, I was going to say
we may have made an appearance
on hiatus because somebody's got to go on vacation. But I digress. We'll get to it eventually. But check out the conversation with Chelsea Green. We're going to have interviews dropping with Speedball Mike Bailey and CJ Perry at some point. Sam Roberts as well. I got to get up there whenever I have time to edit. But I got a 12-hour drive to New Jersey this week because I will be there.
Driving it. Goodness gracious.
Driving in because I'm an idiot. I didn't get enough of that action driving down to Atlanta for Evolution weekend. But anywho, so I'll be there. We'll have plenty of great coverage over on the Takedown on SI as well as here on the YouTube channel. So like, share, subscribe, check us out. We appreciate it. Let's start off with a match I don't even know if we're going to have. Drew McIntyre is stuck in the UK right now. Unbelievable. Although I did love his little Twitter video where he was blaming Jelly Roll, and apparently he has government connections overseas. But anyway, hopefully the belief is that Drew McIntyre will have his passport issues cleared up and he should be back in New Jersey for this matchup. But it is Orton and Jelly Roll, Blake, against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, maybe Drew McIntyre knew something we didn't about what to expect from this match. Maybe this is by design. I'm just thinking of the photo op after the match. Randy Orton, Jelly Roll, standing in front of there, all the cameras and WWE and the viral moments and everything. Surely they can't pass up on that opportunity. So I'll take RK Roll for the victory here.
RK Roll for the win. I like that. I hope you patent that and coin that, because I have a feeling that's what they're going to end up being called, because they love playing off of that. Yeah, look, this is going to be Orton. It's going to be Jelly Roll. I have no idea what to expect from Jelly Roll. I don't even know if he knows what to expect. But we've had a stretch of, celebrities getting in the ring, and they've far exceeded expectations, going back to Bad Bunny. Logan Paul's obviously more of a regular nowadays. Somehow, some way, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll get the win here. I think they're going to protect Jelly Roll. I expect Randy Orton to do a lot of heavy lifting in this one.
Yes, no question about that. I mean, look, they want to do these celebrity matches, appearances, involvements. They've always done that. It's not new in WWE. the thing is, I think they're not going to let them be bad. If they start being bad and you have crowds that start crapping all over these things, celebrities aren't going to want to come and do this for them anymore. So they're going to do everything in their power to make sure this is as safe and buttoned up and practiced and rehearsed as possible. And definitely Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are going to win this thing. It's going to be RKO and something cool from Jelly Roll. And
Jelly Roll hit an RKO himself.
Yeah,
I think that's what's happening.
There you
yes.
go.
Yes.
Yep.
That is what they'll call the RK roll. He'll hit the RK roll, and you know what? All I ask for out of this match is that it's Jelly Roll pinning Logan Paul. That's all I ask. Unless Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre are going to win, and I don't care. But in a realistic world, there's no way that Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul lose this matchup. But hey, it's WWE, and we suspend disbelief for. Look, we've suspended far more disbelief than this, but yeah, we're all in agreement on this one. Orton and Roll do in fact roll in this one. The men's Intercontinental Championship on this says Sunday. I thought this matchup was on Saturday, but maybe I got something backwards. All right, whatever. It's the men's Intercontinental Championship. It is Dominic Mysterio defending against AJ Styles. Dom has finally been cleared. This is a match that was supposed to happen at Saturday night's Night of Champions. This was supposed to happen at Night of Champions. Dominic got hurt. We've had AJ Styles doing secret agent man activities throughout Monday Night Raw, posing as everything from a janitor to a security guard to medical personnel, making sure that Dominic Mysterio was on the up and up about his health. So this matchup has been a long time coming. Because Dom's been out of action so long, Blake, I feel like it's too early to take the title off.
I was thinking that too. I think I'd rather AJ Styles win, just because I think there's more fresh matchups if he does win, because I think something else to tie into the story, Dominic loses, who's there to console him? None other than Roxanne Perez, who may also need some consoling after her match, spoiler alert. I think there's something to that idea. And Dominic, doesn't he have the AAA match coming up at some point too? And I'm just thinking, I know there's the thought of pushing him as a potential double champion, all this. I'm gonna pick an upset somewhere. This is gonna be one of the ones where I'm actually gonna pick AJ Styles, but I think you're right because this was previously scheduled. They're probably gonna go with the same result, which would have been Dominic winning. But give me Styles. I wanna push something different into this Intercontinental title picture.
For me, this is simple. They have more invested in the future of Dominic Mysterio than they do AJ Styles, just for the simple fact of the clock, where AJ Styles is pretty much running it out at this point. I don't see them putting the Intercontinental title on him. I think Dominic retains. What do you think, Zach?
I think Dominic retains as well. I love this match, by the way. I think it's been built well. It's been built with some comedy, yes, but you still get the sense that AJ just wants to just whip Dominic, and that's always makes for a good time. And Dominic is just perfect at playing that kind of heel. But as you said, Rick, Dominic, I think, still has a ways to go. I think there's a story with Liv obviously coming back. I think that, her coming back and being involved in him losing that title is a good way to kind of get her over. If you want to make her a babyface upon her return, I just think you have more options with Dominic as Intercontinental Champion here. So AJ's been great. I think he feels like more rejuvenated as a character working with Dom. So I'm glad he's getting this spot, but I think Dom takes it.
We got Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. I'm very happy to see this match on the card. This will be the big blow off. Right now, the score is 1-1. And basically, the stipulation on this is if Kross wins, then Sami has to admit that Kross was right. And then if Kross loses, he has to admit that he was wrong about Sami Zayn. One way or another, I just have this ominous feeling that Karrion Kross might not be seen for a while after this weekend, boys. So for that reason, I'm going to take Sami Zayn to win it. Sami Zayn, for me, right now, is my odds-on favorite to win the Royal Rumble. I know we are still very far away from that, but he's talked about winning a world championship and proving that he is world championship caliber. At some point, they got to follow through on that. Triple H is a long gamer through and through. He's my favorite to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42 next year in Vegas, especially since that he was left off that card. He needs this win more than Karrion does. Karrion's over. If his contract situation gets figured out, great, he can stick around. But until that happens, there's no way he's winning. I'm taking Sami Zayn. Blake, where are you going?
Rick, you just literally said everything I was going to say, so why waste our time here? I'm going to pick Sami Zayn for every single reason that you said, involving the Rumble, the World Championship, all that. So I'm done here. Let's just move on to Zach.
3 for 3 there, Zach?
3 for 3. Sami all the way. I think Sami has turned himself into quite a babyface, man. I mean, look, he made a lot of people care about a match with Karrion Kross. I'm not sure that was not a sure bet a year ago, and Kross gets credit for that.
He gets a lot of credit for that too. Yeah,
Sami's so over though, man. He makes you care, and I think people are going to be hot for him to win this match, and he will.
I don't know. I think the crowd might be split because Karrion Kross is, I think, more over than people realize. Maybe even WWE at this point. I don't know how this guy is moving merch, getting these reactions, and he's putting out teaser videos on social media that the Killer Point version 2 or whatever is coming up soon. An obvious nod to Killer Kross, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, this guy's contract is up maybe this weekend, as far as we know. I'm knock on wood. I might ask Triple H about that this weekend at the press junket if I get called on. We'll see.
That is what we call a tease, folks.
That's a tease, folks. Stay tuned. The women's tag team championships are on the line in a match that I think is very intriguing. If you would have asked me about 2 weeks ago, I figured they would have been defending the titles, Raquel and Roxanne here, and I figured whoever they faced, they'd be winning. But there is a lot of groundswell for this Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss tag team. Guys, I'll tell you what, that being in the building for Evolution and hearing the reactions that Charlotte Flair got, the genuine reactions of people chanting, "We want Charlotte," and the thunderous applause and just the adulation. There is something about this team that works, and there is something that is specifically working for Charlotte in this situation. I almost feel like you have to ride the hot hand and put the tag team titles on them, and that is what I'm going to pick. I am picking Charlotte and Alexa to win the belts here. Blake, what do you think?
Yeah, I spoiled it a minute ago. I think of all these 12 matches, to me, well, maybe Orton and Jelly Roll, but to me, this is the biggest no-brainer there is. I think that there is only one option here, and that is to what you said, ride the momentum, ride the wave of what you have with these two. I know initially the rumors were they were going to face each other. Please don't give me something where one of them turns. I mean,
that was disputed. So,
Well, and even if that's the case, don't give me a situation here where one turns on the other, and that's the reason they lose. I think you have to keep going with them, and I think them winning is the only way to get there based on what happened in Evolution. Because Judgment Day won the way they did, to me, it set up a perfect situation. Do the rematch here, and they win. I think Charlotte and Alexa have to win this one.
Zach?
3 for 3. 3 for 3. This is a no-brainer, as you guys said. I mean, sometimes the good guys just have to go over, and you got to give fans a reason to cheer loudly at a huge event like this. And look, Charlotte is finding another voice with this character, and Alexa's bringing it out of her. What do you do if they're not tag team champions? This is the logical progression in the story. Good guys win. Charlotte and Alexa, for sure.
Plus, you can use them on Raw, too, coming out of it, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yes,
That's a great asset to have. So
yeah, and it's not like there are that many other teams for them to feud with, so you can keep Judgment Day in the picture for right now until you establish some more teams. We have the WWE Women's Championship that is on the line. Tiffany Stratton defending against Jade Cargill. And until about, I don't know, the last 5 minutes of Evolution, I was banking on Naomi getting involved in this. That's not going to be the case. Look, by all accounts, Jade Cargill was supposed to have been WWE Women's Champion months ago. Judging by the creative board that was issued in WWE Unreal, that seems to be very, very valid. She was supposed to be facing Nia Jax for the title at WrestleMania. Obviously, that did not happen. Tiffany Stratton still has the belt. She's beaten Charlotte. She's beaten Trish Stratus. She's got her big legacy wins. Blake, is Jade Cargill ready? And does she win? And I know those are two separate questions.
Yeah, I was going to say two completely different questions. Because yes, I think she wins because of everything you said. I'm not really sure what else you do with Tiffany Stratton at this point in terms of this title run in particular. I think it's better to kind of explore what happens to her when she doesn't have the championship. Does she just continue on the same path? Does she eventually turn back to what I think is still the natural heel type character? Probably. I just feel like that's more natural for her, even though the fans got behind her. But I don't have a great answer for the first question of whether Jade is ready or not. I think you've certainly seen the good. You've certainly seen the things where you're like, that still is in progress. But I think they're going to do it. And at this point, it's kind of sink or swim, right? If you're the champion, if you're the WWE Women's Champion, this is your big opportunity. And I think they'll probably have a good match. I think they'll put everything in place just like they did. I thought the Naomi match at Evolution was one of Jade's best performances. And so I think you put her in the same situation here, and now it's her turn to run with it, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, look, there's only one way to find out if she's ready. Give her the belt and see what happens. So that's what they're going to do. It's going to be Jade. Zach?
It's going to be Jade. You give her the ball and see what happens. Like, you've invested a lot in Jade Cargill in terms of time and push and presentation. I mean, she got one of the biggest free agent presentations that the company's ever done. Yep. And it's so that they can put her in championship matches like this. And so she can hold WWE gold and have big main event singles matches like this one. So, I don't know that anybody's really ready for that spot, but you have to be given the opportunity at some point. And so, I don't think they push her all this way just to have her lose to Tiffany Stratton. That's not a knock against Tiffany. It's just a recognition of how big the push for Jade is. So Jade all the way.
A match that was talked about initially as happening at WrestleMania 41. Obviously, again, that did not end up happening, but it is Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. Gunther just got this thing back just so he could defeat Bill Goldberg in his retirement match. And here we go, 2 weeks later, he's going up against CM Punk. Very little build to this. Blake, are they really going to have CM Punk lose another world title match within a month? And then what? But then did they really put the belt on Gunther just to have him lose at another major main event? And there's also that whole Seth Rollins thing floating around out there, whether or not he's legitimately hurt. Lot to consider here. I genuinely, for a lot of those reasons I just mentioned, hate that this match is happening because I feel like somebody is losing out big time in this.
I also hate that it's happening on 3 weeks' notice, basically. I wish this would one that would have gotten a longer build, but the schedule was what it was. All right, so I've tried to convince myself of what scenario I like the most here, and this is what I've come upon. Here's what I think could happen. I think it's one where, like you said, Punk just completely going out, defeating Gunther clean, and that's just that. I don't think that's a scenario. But if Punk were to get one of these flash pinfall type scenarios where all of a sudden, it's kind of chaotic, Punk just gets the quick roll up, kind of the surprise win out of nowhere. Then you have a scenario where, let's say, all right, Punk's kind of shocked, Gunther's shocked, they're both just sitting there, the referee's going over to grab the belt. But before Punk can get his hands on that title to actually be the champion, right? Who comes out? Seth Rollins comes out, cashes in. Punk doesn't do what Rollins said he was never going to let him do, and that is actually be the champion, hold the title in his hands. And so something else to tie into that is I also like the idea that Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed have no idea that this is the plan. Because what does that do coming out of this? That starts to add some of that tension, which, oh my God, they love to add the tension with any team, any group as soon as possible. So
no matter how long they
right. Doesn't even matter. Let's put it in as early as we can.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Well, and see, like the Breaker thing on Raw kind of came out of nowhere. We have a leader now. And so like when he starts saying stuff like that, if he's not in on the plan, well, then you start to add that tension. So that's where I've settled. I'm going to pick Punk to win, but I don't see a scenario where Punk even holds the title here. I think that Rollins is not hurt. If he was hurt, I think this is the moment where he surprises everybody. He cashes in. But I also ask this question, and you guys can, is it too predictable now? Because this is all we've been talking about, real, fake, whatever. Do they hold it off? I don't think they should. I think they should do it now and be done with it.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Like you try to keep things as close to the vest as possible, especially with something like this, and it got out. So do you pivot, or do you just go forward with it, or do you make Seth Rollins wait around and fake like he's injured for another month in public? Haven't seen a whole lot of Seth Rollins. Haven't heard a lot from Seth Rollins. Hasn't been mentioned a ton on TV. They're kind of letting Breakker take the front on this. I think they are genuinely keeping him out of the limelight. They're not mentioning him because they want people to kind of forget that whole thing came out. People have short attention spans now. If he's legitimately hurt, I still think he comes out. I still think he cost CM Punk this matchup because, again, he promised he would never let this man win a world title. If he isn't hurt, he's going to cash in and win it. Either way, my choice is CM Punk is not walking out as the champion. It's either going to be Gunther. It's either going to be CM Punk.
Yep.
If I had to, or Gunther or Seth Rollins, if I had to guess, I'm going to say Gunther retains because of Seth Rollins. He might legitimately be hurt, so I'll be different. I'll choose Gunther to retain. Zach?
That is what my pick was going to be too. So you kind of you stole my thunder there, Rick. But I at this point, I'm just kind of going with, I think Seth might actually be kind of hurt. And so, that may not mean he's out for 9 months, but
might not be ready to come back now.
Right, but he might not be ready to come back now. Exactly. And so I just don't see a scenario where Gunther loses the title. He just got it back. And if you want to do, more matches with Gunther and Punk, it helps if Gunther can win with some kind of underhanded tactic, like Seth interfering somehow. So I don't think we see a cash in, but I do think we see Seth, and I think we see Gunther get the win because of that. Now, I'm not saying Gunther and Seth are joining up. I don't think they're in the same faction or anything like that. I think it's just Seth is going to make good on his declaration to never let CM Punk win the world title.
Then again, he also said he never main event WrestleMania, and that happened. So technically, we got the Men's United States Championship moving to Sunday here. We got the Men's United States Championship on the line inside of a steel cage. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. Suddenly, guys, WWE is in the Solo Sikoa business again. It seemed like he was the man who was forgotten in the bloodline, and all of a sudden now he's going over on big Jacob Fatu. I think he retains. Somehow, some way, steel cage, that big trucking Talatonga is going to just step on over the side of it, and there's going to be some shenanigans afoot because people get inside steel cages all the time. Solo Sikoa wins, in my opinion, on this one. What do you think, Blake?
All right, I'm totally hedging my bets on this match because I said in my video I did earlier today that I am absolutely 50-50 on this one, and so I picked Jacob Fatu as sort of the old school steel cage. The babyface has to triumph, but I don't really think he needs the title. So I'm going to hedge my bets and go solo on this particular video because I'm like, I have no idea. There's going to be so much outside interference, which it's a cage match. I don't love that idea, but I can totally see the visual of Talatonga ripping off the cage door or something like that. That seems like one of those WWE type moments they could embrace. This Tamatonga come back. Jimmy Uso, JC Mateo, Tonga Loa with the eye patch. I don't know what's going to happen here. I think there's going to be so many things that go down. But I'm like you, I just think that probably Solo retaining gives them more to do with Solo moving forward. If he loses it again, then aren't they just back at square one? But I'm also this is your total setup for it's a steel cage match. It's the blow off between these two, and doesn't the babyface usually win those? So I have no idea. I'll pick Solo too, but I don't love it.
Zach?
I'm doing this again. I'm taking Jacob Fatu, and I did it last time and it didn't work out. But I'm at where Blake's at, just more definitively. This is the blow off, and I think Jacob Fatu has got to win the blow off. I think he's got to come out of this looking really dominant, and I think this feud calls for a lot of shenanigans, and it calls for Jacob Fatu to beat up a lot of the bloodline. And I think that's exactly the type of match and the type of performance we're going to get out of this. So Fatu wins. I'm doubling down. I shouldn't. I was burned last month, but here we go.
All right, let's speed this up a bit. We got TLC. Look, we all win on this one. These six guys, these six teams, 12 men, tables, ladders, chairs. Holy hell. I'd like to see the Street Profits get the belts back here, kind of make up for them not getting the big win at WrestleMania. I'm glad that these guys and this entire division has made it onto the SmackDown card. I think WWE goes with the hot hand here. I think they go with Andrade and Rey Fenix. What do you think, Blake?
That was exactly where I was going. I see this very similar to the women's tag team championship match, where I think it's go with the hot hand, and I think they clearly see something in those two. They've been really good together so far. I think it's probably, I think it's them, or maybe it's the Triple H choice of DIY, but I think Andrade and Rey Fenix are the choice to me.
Zach?
Same here, riding the hot hand. I mean,
wow, 6 teams and we all choose the same
good
one.
booking. I mean, it's just good booking at this point. I mean, this tag team division on SmackDown is pretty stacked, and they're a new-ish team, and they've got some momentum. So feed that.
Yeah. We got this massive tag team match that is not for the anything because there's no titles on the line, but it is
for
Roman
sneakers.
Reigns. Yeah, for sneakers. Yeah, for Jordan. For keeps. They're playing for keeps. We got Roman Reigns, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker, and Big Bronson Reed. Roman Reigns wants them to prove that they are the future by winning on a big stage. Do they do it, Blake?
Not here. Braun Breaker will eventually beat Roman Reigns in a singles match at some point within the next 6 months, is my prediction. Maybe 8 months, but I don't think they're winning here. I think it's Reigns getting his sneakers back and Reigns and Jey eating their way to victory.
Yeah, I think it's been way too long since Roman Reigns has won a match. He's going to win this weekend. What do you think, Zach?
He's absolutely going to win this weekend. A great heat angle on Monday. Great, way to kind of try to make Braun Breaker and make Bronson Reed going into this match and make him a threat. But, it's wrestling. Good guys vanquish the threats most of the time, and I think we see Reigns get the victory here.
There's another reason why I'm picking Reigns and Jey, and I'll get to it in a minute. First, our women's world championship triple threat, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. They get to follow up on that absolute banger that they had at Evolution until that woman right there in the middle, Naomi, got involved and stole the women's world championship. This match is going to be phenomenal. There's no doubt in my mind. Every time Rhea and Io get in the ring together, whether it's with Bianca Belair, whether it's with Naomi involved, Naomi's fantastic in her own right. There's no way this match is bad. And for me, it's this simple. There's no way they're putting the belt on Naomi and then immediately having her drop it 2 weeks later. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I think that's almost a waste of a cash-in. I would have preferred, if they were going to do that, I would have preferred her to just cash in on Jade and be predictable in that situation. Naomi's earned a longer title run than 2-3 weeks, whatever it's been. So for me, it's Naomi. Blake?
Yep, this is a choice as the product of the schedule, and that is being so close together to her winning it. And also, if I didn't know that Stephanie Vaquer was the challenger for Paris, then I would probably be a little bit more kind of unsure. But knowing that, I don't think they're doing Rhea and Vaquer this early. I think they see that probably as a WrestleMania type thing in the future. Yeah. I think doing Stephanie and Io again, which obviously I'd love to see, I just don't think they're turning back to that just yet. So I'm like, later. Naomi, Stephanie Vaquer, Paris, that's it.
Zach?
Because Stephanie's the number one contender, that's the tell that you need on this one. And it's the right call. They've been already planting seeds for Stephanie and Naomi. They've had backstage segments with them and encounters with them. That's the match they're gonna do. And in order to get there, she's gotta win. So Naomi to retain.
I can't believe I skipped this one. The Women's Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Becky Lynch defending against Lyra Valkyria. This is the blow-off. Guys, this one has been the exact play-by-play book they have run on this is the exact same thing they did with Bianca and Becky years ago. This has just been on an expedited timeline. Instead of a year culminating at SummerSlam 2022, this is going to be 4 months culminating at SummerSlam 2025. It's Becky's first match at SummerSlam in 3 years. Check out my interview with her, by the way, on the Takedown on SI. Do they repeat history? Does Lyra walk away the winner here, Blake?
I think she does, and these two matches we've talked about back-to-back, don't be surprised if they're the two best ones, I think, of SummerSlam. I think that is a great potential for that to be the case. WWE's batting a high percentage in triple threat matches this year on the women's side, and then these two have just been so good together. I think Lyra wins. I'm most intrigued by where these two go from here, because I think it's certainly a situation where you've seen Lyra be more of that heelish type, play that up with Bayley and all this other stuff. I think she could take it to another level here, as she said she was going to on Raw. And then maybe Becky comes out of this in a different spot. And I think you want to get Becky back into that world title type picture too. So I'm going Lyra here.
What do you think, Zach?
This is the match that this whole feud is for. It's why you turn Becky heel. It's why you do this, so that you can put Lyra over on a big stage like this one. No doubt that Lyra wins.
Somehow, some way, I just feel like the man's going to keep her down. I don't know why. I feel like this story is different. Not every story can have a happy ending. The Intercontinental Championship has just been so much more relevant with it around Becky's waist. I feel like they're going to keep this one. I'm picking Becky in an upset. I'll say it's an upset. And I'm not just saying this because I talked to her and, she's my favorite, but I just feel like she's getting out of there with the title, and Bayley is a wild card for me. I think Bayley gets involved in this match in some way, shape, or form. I just don't know how. Finally, the WWE Championship is on the line. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Zach, is the long nightmare over? Does Cody Rhodes ride in on his white horse and save the future of WWE?
He does. I think Cody wins the title here. I think, we only have a few months left of John Cena and his retirement run. And I, like everybody else, think that that's going to end with him, on this bit of a redemption arc and as a babyface going into his last match. And I think we start to see that play out here with this loss. Cody's got to get the win back. He's your number one star. Time for John Cena to do some business here. I think Cody wins.
You got to start that redemption arc sooner rather than later.
You do. You absolutely do. Yep.
Yeah, I think, and this kind of counters what I said I'm going to go with Gunther. And now that I think about it, I'm like, if Cena were to face Gunther in December or something like that for the final match, which I think would be a great choice, I think you would probably want Gunther to have the title at that point, the World Heavyweight Championship, maybe a scenario where you have Cena, having that one last shot. It kind of feels Goldberg-esque, but obviously on a bigger scale. But I can't think of anyone, Gunther versus Cena, sports entertainment versus professional wrestling, as your final kind of selling point for that. And to me, it's like, well, you have to take the belt off of Cena to get there. Gunther maybe finds a way to get the title back or keeps it here, as you guys said. I just think this is one to where, look, I don't think The Rock is going to be there, but I will also say I will never say never anymore when it comes to this stuff. I thought he would 100% be at WrestleMania. He wasn't. I 95% don't think he'll be there, so he probably will show up. And so I just, for the story and this whole WWE Unreal thing coming out around this time, I just wonder, because if you're going to pick this back up, I can't believe they want to turn Cody right now. I just don't see it. But I could totally see them leaning into the things they put in. Cody going after Orton's back in the King of the Ring match. You've had, Cody taking out Kevin Owens back at the Rumble, going to a different level. I could see that here in the street fight type setting. A little bit more of that heelish Cody, but he wins no matter what.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. It's a street fight. So it's not taking a cheap way out. It's within the realm of the match. It's within the rules. And when Cody's allowed to be a bad boy, he has no problems being a bad boy. Yes. Cody Rhodes is going to win this match. He's going to win the WWE Championship. But the reason why Seth Rollins is not going to cash in on CM Punk or Gunther, and Rollins is just going to show up and play hurt and cost CM Punk the match on Saturday. The reason why Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are going to win is because you have to make it look like Seth Rollins and his entire faction are down bad. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, they both lost. They just got humiliated in the grand stage by Big Brother and the Tribal Chief. Paul Heyman is distraught. Seth Rollins is hurt until the Seth Rollins charade is revealed at the end of night 2, and you close out with SummerSlam with Seth Rollins pulling the Kevin Nash, taking the brace off, going in, delivering a stomp to Cody Rhodes, and stealing the A championship from WWE, because this is what always made sense to me. The night after WrestleMania, Paul Heyman declared that Seth Rollins was the A guy, the new face in WWE. If that's the case, he needs to win the A championship. No knock on the world heavyweight title, but the be-all end-all of WWE has been and will always be the WWE Championship. Seth Rollins is walking out of SummerSlam as the WWE champion.
I like it.
Cody Rhodes owes that man one. He owes him one, Dan.
He does. He does.
He owes him 3. Let's be honest.
Does.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Check out SummerSlam. Come back on this video in the comment section when I turn out to be hilariously wrong, and blast me in the comments. It's all good. But give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll talk at you next time. For Blake, for Zach, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the weekend, and keep checking out the channel because we got a lot more coming down the pipe. Take care, everybody.